welcome back. So I've got a review video for you today on the new Too Faced Country palette. This is the Country Nashville Nudes eyeshadow collection. And this is one of two Ulta exclusive palettes that have come out from Too Faced. There's this one, and then there's also the Rock and Roll Rock Candy? I can't remember the name of it. Something candy and rock and roll something or other. They're both Ulta exclusive. So I'm reviewing this one today, and then I'll review the other one once I've worn it tomorrow. So I'll hopefully have these videos up pretty close together for you guys. But I already have blog posts on this one and also the rock and roll palette, so you can check those out. I'll link my blog down below for you guys. Like I said, I'm being better about my blog, so you can watch for that. I'm usually able to get up blog posts a lot quicker than I can get up a video. So you can at least get an idea from the blog post and kind of see swatches and stuff. And then I always go into a more in-depth review in my videos. So anyway, today it's the Country palette. I am wearing it today. This is my first day of wearing it, but I have been wearing these shadows for several hours now. So I'll definitely be able to talk about just how they went on, the formula, what they've worn like, and just kind of how I like the palette. And then obviously we'll go over pricing, packaging, all that kind of stuff, swatches, the usual. So if you want to know more about this palette, the Country palette from Too Faced, then just keep watching. Okay, so starting with pricing and packaging, I got mine for $36 directly from Too Faced's website, but it's also on Ulta's website, as well as it will be in stores soon as well. So you get 3 eyeshadows that are 2 grams each, or 0.07 ounces, for a total net weight of 6 grams, or 0.21 ounces there. And then you get the 6 smaller eyeshadows that are 0.9 grams or 0.03 ounces for a total net weight of 5.4 grams or 0.18 ounces there. So it's just kind of the standard, you know. That's kind of the standard for Too Faced smaller palettes. That's what you get in them. This is what the outside packaging looks like. It's just adorable. It looks worn, it looks very country and very girly. That's how I would describe this whole palette. It is just very country and girly. I love it. And then on the back it's got kind of more of the information about it. It talks about, you know, this little like wording about the whole collection. It's just really, really cute. So the outside packaging is adorable. And then the actual palette itself is just precious. I love it. It is just, it's girly and country, you know, and it's got like the raised sections here. And then on the back, it's got the same kind of information. So that's what it looks like. And then you open it up. And like I said, it's just kind of like the standard smaller Too Faced palettes. So you get the 3 larger shades here, and then you get the other ones over here, the smaller ones. You've got this little booklet here. There is a mirror behind it, so you've got your mirror in your palette, and this has like some different eye looks and stuff like that. You don't usually use that, but it's nice that they include it, and you know, it's got the nice little branding on it, which is also really cute. So you can see this palette, well, first off, you'll learn about the formula of them later, but you can just kind of look, it gets dirty. But overall, you can just see it's a very sweet palette. It's got like a lot of very kind of cool toned girly shades. So there's pinks, there's purples, there's kind of light sweet blues, and then there's the 3 lighter shades, as well as some neutrals up here. So that's nice that you've got that in there as well. But you can just kind of see the overall feel of the palette is just very sweet and girly. So there is the palette. So now we're going to get into some swatches. Okay, so here are the swatches. So we're going to start on this side. This is the top row of the palette, so kind of like faced like this is how the palette goes. So this is the top left one in the palette. This is Cowboy Take Me Away. It's a very light, kind of creamy peachy color. It's very just close to my skin tone, so it really doesn't show up very well on me. It's not a bad shade, but it doesn't really show up very well on my particular skin tone. It is a nice matte. It seems like it almost has a little bit of a sheen to it, but not much. It's hard to really tell, but it's not like a very, very flat matte to it. This next one is Y'all. This is a very pretty shade, but holy fallout. This makes the palette look so dirty. I've never seen, I mean, this is like really high on the fallout scale. It's like a really bad Urban Decay eyeshadow. You know, they've gotten a lot better with their fallout, but you know what I mean, where it just like dusts everywhere. It's a beautiful shade, but the fallout is just way too much. This next one right here is Dolly. It's a really pretty deep chocolate brown, and then it's got some little tiny shimmers in it. It almost looks matte, but you can see the shimmers just a little tiny bit, but there's not really enough of them that they show up very much. It looks mostly matte. This one right down here, this is Famous in a Small Town. Really cute name. It's a really pretty champagne-y kind of shade. It's got a little bit of pink to it. I do have that on my lid, kind of on the inner part of my lid. It's a really pretty shade. This one in the middle here, I love this one. Again, don't mind my scratch. My hand is, I don't know what I did to it. This one is Paper Roses. It's a really pretty, it's kind of a rose gold, but it's very pinky colored. And it's, I don't know, it's got like this flashing, this duochrome to it. It's a pink and a peach and a gold, and it's just beautiful. I did use this one in my crease, but you know, it's got like a metallic sheen to it, so I had to bring in a matte. It just, you know, because this doesn't have any matte blending shades. So beautiful, beautiful shade though. The next one right here, this is called Rhinestone. It's a really pretty kind of dusty purple. It's a beautiful shade. I tried to use this on my lid, kind of on the outer corner, and then kind of blend it over into the middle of my eye. It's really pretty, but it's not very pigmented. But I can't really tell if it's just the shade or if it's just the nature of the shadow itself. Like, is it the color and it's just a light color, or is it just not very pigmented? And I really honestly can't figure it out. So I don't know. It's pretty swatched, but on my eyes it really didn't show up that much. And then this next one, this is called All American Girl. This one really does not have much to it. It's mostly just kind of a glitter. It's a white, and it's almost got a little bit of a silver flashing to it, but it's mainly just glitter. I mean, it's pretty, but it just doesn't have a lot of pigmentation behind it. Next is Nashville. This is a really cute dusty blue. So it kind of reminds me of Rhinestone, except it's got more blue to it, and it's got a lot of purple. So it's kind of right in between a blue and a purple. It's a really pretty shade. I used this on my lower lash line. It was a little bit difficult to build up pigmentation and to get it to stick to my lower lash line, but I just brought in a blue pencil and then it stuck to it just fine. So it's a really pretty color though. And then the last one there, this is Bluebird. This one was kind of the problem child of the palette, I would say. It's just got, I mean, you can see it's beautifully swatched there, so you can make it work. It's just kind of gritty, like when you put your finger in it, it's kind of gritty. And when you first start to swatch it, it looks kind of like patchy and just, it looks gritty when you swatch it, but then you can kind of rub it in and it gets better. So you can just kind of see the overall swatches here. Some really cute colors. They just take a little bit of working with, but I do love the collection of colors. You can just see it's got a very cute, sweet vibe to it. And then as far as the formulation on these shadows, it kind of varies across the palette. Just like I was going over when I was showing you swatches, there are some hits in this palette and there are some misses. Like Paper Roses, I really like that one. I do really like Dolly. You know, it's that nice matte dark brown, which I love in a palette. Now it's not, actually it's not matte, but it's got those little tiny shimmers that you really can't notice much, so it mostly performs like a matte. And then I do really like Famous in a Small Town. And then you get into some problem areas with All American Girl with just mainly that, mostly just glitter, and then Y'all with the Fallout City, and then Bluebird with its kind of like patchy, gritty sort of a texture. So the formulation on these shadows is kind of hit and miss. But I will say, when I went to use them on my eyes, I was able to make them work. Like the blues on the lower lash line. Once I brought in a liner on my lower lash line so that they had something to stick to, they worked better. And then as far as Rhinestone, you know, I was thinking, oh, this doesn't really have the color I was hoping. But I think it honestly has more to do with just the nature of the shade, that it's a kind of a light, pastel-y, dusty purple. And so I think that's kind of my overall thoughts on this collection of colors, is that it's just a different kind of palette than what I typically use. I love smoky eyes. I love dark shadows. Like, I thought the Rock and Roll palette, like when I first looked at pictures, I thought that looks adorable because it's like dark, crazy bright, or not really even crazy bright, but just those sort of smoky shadows, but I also love crazy bright. Whereas this palette, is just more sweet and pastel and girly. So it's very different than what I tend to gravitate towards. So once I got them on my eyes, I really liked the look. I just had to kind of work with them a little bit to get them to work. But like when I looked at the finished product, and especially out in the sun, I loved it. Like I just think it's so sweet, girly, cute. That's how I would describe this. And I think that they hit the nail on the head as far as the whole theme of the palette. I think it matches. So after I worked with the shadows a little bit more, I really liked them more. There's just some hits and misses, and they do take a little bit of working with. So my overall thoughts and opinions on this palette, I really like it. While there are some misses as far as the shadows go, I just love the actual packaging. I love the theme of it. You know, I'm a Southern girl, so that's gonna suck me in. And I just love that it's pastel and different from what I typically go for and what I have in my collection. And while there are misses with the shadows, I was still able to make them work. And if overall I like the finished product, I enjoy looking at the palette, I enjoy using the palette, it's overall a hit for me. So is this a knock it out of the park, amazing quality eyeshadow palette? No. But overall, I do really like it, and I am really happy that I got it. Alright guys, so that's my overall review on the Too Faced Country Nashville Nudes eyeshadow collection. I hope this video was helpful for you and kind of gave you some ideas and insight into this palette. Ask any questions you have down below and let me know what you think about it. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!